How are
Good
you?
morning, Shanas and Kai.
All right, Mbak Meta, I will go to the first question
Yes.
straight away. Is luxury bag a good investment, especially during this pandemic, because we're looking for an instrument that suits us? And I know bags are very much suitable for me.
Well, I personally don't consider a luxury bag as an investment, especially in this pandemic era because there are still many uncertainties in the market. And the luxury bags, the branded bags are not weathering with the pandemics. The luxury goods only get more desirable when they are less accessible. So basically, bags are consumable items, right? What makes luxury bags precious because they are exclusive, right? Not all people have the access to it due to the prices, the number of the limited items, etc. So branded bags doesn't have to be in short supply, but the brand is good at creating the impact that there are exclusive on the status of the symbols, right? Now, do you really think that this pandemic has resulted in a scarcity of the branded bags? Well, I think before and after the pandemic, yeah, the demand for the branded bags are the same, if not declining. Yep, but the higher price that makes them more attractive because of the status, right? The limited collection. Now, if you think that investing in branded bags during this pandemic, I think it may not be the best options if from the financial point of view.
Okay.
It is true that the market is now recovering, but as I mentioned, there are still some uncertainties, and traveling will recover very soon as well. So the price hikes may be over, and now they will become more accessible again.
Shanas and I were just speaking about this because we're avid followers of the fashion world, let's say. But this, it's just very interesting to hear your perspective that, okay, we understand these are perhaps not the best option because it's very uncertain at the moment, but there are several world designer handbags such as Hermes and Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Bottega Veneta that actually during this pandemic their value actually skyrocketed, especially in resale prices. So is it still not considered as an investment item?
Well, let's define a good investment as a process, of investing money in order to make a profit. So for branded bags, mean you have to purchase the bag first, take extremely good care of it, to maintain the condition, and then you have to resell the bag for a profit after a certain period of time. Yeah. And before you sell it, you have to calculate all the costs related. I mentioned the maintenance fee, the reseller fees, and but at the end, the result, the return, maybe will be less compared to the return of the conventional financial instruments, like stocks and stuff. So at this point for me, it is wise to consider the resale value, as the bonus of maintaining your collection or a hobby, in which you get the value of not only owning the bag, but also it brings you joy, it polishes your looks, and gives you a good status when you use them.
Sparks joy.
So,
Right, it always sparks joy for me. But I want to know, Mbak Meta, what are the things that must be put into consideration for our financial planning before we purchase our first luxury bag or our dream item?
Well, the luxury bags is actually maybe is tertiary, right? So I think the first thing to do is it's better to focus on building a real wealth first, and then after that you can buy as you want, without even to justify it as an investment. Right? Yeah. Yes, of course you can have those at your collections, but not at the expense of your financial goals. So you have to make sure that your basic needs are covered, and then after that, then you have to make a clear priority on your financial goals. Which ones to come first?
I see, because this is my justification for my husband. Whenever he said, don't buy bags, I said, it's a good investment.
well, That's recently is very, very, interesting. But you also just mentioned, some criteria of what makes a good investment. What other the alternative investments that we should look at during the pandemic? Which ones do you think most suitable? Short-term ones or long-term ones?
Well, yeah. I mean, like right now, as we are in recovering period, but yeah, but still there is uncertainties. Yep. So I would suggest to keep like a portfolio of your investment. So you have to diversify your assets. Yeah. So it is right to keep some portion in the very conservative instruments, but also it is good to allocate some portion to a more aggressive instruments. Yeah. So with this balanced portfolio, you can optimize the return, and at the same time you have the resilience to absorb any shock that may occur, during this uncertainty. So I guess I would not suggest a certain product, a certain financial instrument, but it's good for you to have some according to your financial goals, maybe some short-term ones, some mid-term, and then some longer terms. And please consider the risk profile. You have to understand all the products before you put the money into all those products. Yep.
All right.
Yeah, it's very important because there are a lot of, illegal and really uncertain, you can say, questionable products now, especially because investments is such, a big topic during the pandemic.
So you need to recheck and you need to know what kind of instruments that you're going to invest in. And if we talk about the alternative investment, Metta, during this pandemic, what should we look out for? Do we need to invest more on maybe NFTs, maybe? The
NFTs, interesting.
Well, yeah, I mean, nowadays the financial world is changing. Yeah, I mean, like because before the market used to be very conservative, and now with the technology, it becomes more open. And it's accessible to everyone, right? Before you have to buy stocks, you have to call the broker, and now you have to buy it, sell all directly from your phones. And not only the stocks, and the product itself is evolving. With the with the Bitcoins rises and the NFT and so on. So those are actually still considered, like speculative items because still the fundamental is still questionable. But nowadays we cannot blinded ourselves that there is the new era is there. So my suggestion is that again, those items, like the NFTs or the Bitcoins are still very fluctuative, very risky. If you want to if you want to try to invest in them, please use the cold money. And the money that maybe you have no purpose to use it in a very short term.
Just
and
try
please,
it.
And please, yeah, just you I mean, like, if you don't try, you don't know, right?
Yes, that's
and
right.
nowadays, because of the price increase, many unexpected things happening. You cannot only rely on the conservative instruments. Like if you deposit your money in the banks, how much you will get? It's very small, right? But the price hikes is increasing, and your needs is always increasing as well. So you have to put some portfolio, some allocations. I would say, that the speculative items, maybe you just put a very little amount, just a very little amount.
Just very little
At least you
amount,
try, and then but keep the conservative items ready as well.
I see. All right.
Because again, your basic needs is always there, right? You have to always fulfill your needs.
I see. And one last question from me, Metta. You already stated a lot of things about luxury bags. How about a luxury watch or any types of luxurious stuff that maybe we can collect? Does it count as an investment also? Like watch, I think. It's interesting for me.
Well, I think it's similar, it's the same, because again, those luxury items, it has a specific market, it has a specific characters as well. So and again, those are actually a consumable items, like the things that you buy, you wear it, and over time it will wear and tear, right?
Yeah.
So you have to maintain it very well to keep in a good condition. But those
Quality.
items also, like fashionable, and the fashion trend is always changing as well. So there is no standard on how these collectible items will be valued in the future.
Okay.
So if you can resell it, then it is good for you, right? Maybe you should consider it as like cars. Do you consider cars as investment? You know that your cars, the value will be declining over time, right?
Yeah.
No matter if it is a Jaguar or a Ferrari, it will be declining as well. But of course, you have the luxury to use it. It helps you on your daily operational activities, and also it gives you a good status as well. So again, if you can resell it at some value, it will be good for you. But please, I think it's better not to expect to sell them at a profit at a later time. Yeah.
I see.
Perhaps the term of investment is you're actually banking on these items so you can recash it later when you need it. I think that's the investment type. It's not necessarily gaining profit, but I'm just gonna put this money here so it doesn't go anywhere. But I know that I can resell it in the future.
Yes, but I know it's a way to convince my husband also. Thank you, Metta.
Metta, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.